Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm very excited because we have two wonderful guests who are returning to the show from Clarifi. Joining us on the phone is Rich, and Rich, I'm going to slaughter your name. I can't believe I didn't ask you. Uhlig?
It's Uhlig.
Uhlig.
Thanks so much, Shannon.
Okay, and we have Kayla Wagner, who is also joining us, and they're from a company called Clarifi. Now, you're seeing it on the screen right there, Clarifi with an I, and very important that we designate that. And so, Rich, why don't you start us off? You're the founder and CEO of Quadrant Biosciences, and why don't you start us out by telling us what Clarifi is for those who haven't seen you before?
Sure, that's great. And even before we start, Shannon, I just wanted to say thank you for bringing up the topic about the magic of positive thinking. It's such a powerful thing, and for our little company, 5 years ago, to see the clinical research that was being done at SUNY Upstate Medical University and the Penn State College of Medicine, and spend 5 years of work to get to the point where we can bring an evidence-based tool like Clarifi to the market. Powerful, positive thinking was a huge part of that. So thank you for mentioning that earlier in your show. So Clarifi is an evidence-based saliva tool that can very accurately differentiate children on the autism spectrum from children without autism, and that includes children that have developmental delays but not autism. This is work that was the underlying science behind it was funded by the NIH as well as others, and we have well over 1,000 kids now that are part of the research that went into building Clarifi.
And this is cutting edge stuff right here. When we first had you guys on the show and we were talking about this, and we were talking about all the possibilities of this being a reality, and since you've been with us, you've launched and you are in over 100 clinics now, and I'm so excited to hear what's happening, but let's talk about some basics for a second, maybe, Kayla, about how it all works and where people can get it and who should test and so on and so forth.
Sure. Thanks, Shannon. I'd love to talk a little bit more about that. So, as you probably know very well, and many other parents in the community, the current diagnostic process really overburdens families. And the wait times that exist fail to provide children with opportunities to start evidence-based interventions early. We know that decades of research have shown that there's positive change, and children benefit tremendously from intervention services, and so time is really crucial in this situation. So Clarifi was built purposely to be administered as early as 18 months through 6 years old, and as Rich was describing, it's a saliva-based test, and its purpose is to be administered to children where there's a clinical suspicion of autism from a previous screening tool or maybe other indications by the physician themselves or by the parent. And so what happens is a lot of times clinicians are using a screening tool like the MChat to provide an indication of risk level of autism. This happens very commonly at 18 and 24-month well-child visits with the pediatrician. And then what's happening is a healthcare provider is providing our biological test as the next level of testing to provide a probability score indicating the likelihood that the child in fact has autism. And what's great about this is the results are objective, it's biological information about the child's likelihood of having an autism diagnosis. And so if results indicate a high likelihood, the healthcare provider can get that child immediately started on intervention services or support that they need. And really beyond this, beyond getting children started in enriching services, the Clarifi test results really help families find their way to, it gives parents a head start by allowing them to begin learning about autism early, understanding how to best support their child and best help them succeed.
Yeah, and when I think about, what are the current problems facing the autism community, and let's face it, in the last 2 weeks, those problems have gone through the roof. But one of the problems that's been pervasive is getting the diagnosis. That we seem to have a great delay. That the current process for somebody to get a diagnosis, it's a long time to get an appointment, and part of it is that it takes a really long time for a clinician. They spend a couple of hours getting to know the child, doing all these tests, then they have to weigh and meter them, and they have to write the report, and that takes many, many hours for that person to do. And then it is still subjective, that there are families who feel that they are, meeting the diagnosis and that their child meets the criteria, but the person doing the diagnosis says, let's take a wait and see approach, even in this day and age, and that it can be very frustrating and very costly for the family, and costly not just in terms of financial time, but costly in lost time where we didn't start the intervention. And, if there was a way to say, I'm seeing a couple of things, do a swab and go, yes, we've confirmed it, and streamline this process to be able to get our kids into early intervention, that's life-changing. So that's pretty amazing. But Kayla, so you already mentioned the fact that there already needs to be the clinical suspicion, but is there an age range that this is most appropriate for?
Yes, Clarifi is validated for 18 months through 6 years old. So children who turn 7 cannot currently use our product. We are doing extensive work to broaden that age range, but right now that's the age range in which it's appropriate.
And when you say validated, maybe we should take just a second to talk about the studies that you guys have done and how effective you found this to be and why you are able to be in clinics. Is that a question for Kayla? Did I lose you guys? I don't know if I've lost them.
Sorry. No, I'm still here, Shannon.
Okay, great.
So I can take it, and Kayla, please join in as well. We've been doing clinical research on this in partnership with SUNY Upstate Medical University and the Penn State College of Medicine for over 5 years. We've got multiple NIH grants that have helped along the way. As I said earlier, well over 1,000 children that have participated in this clinical research. So and all of our peer-reviewed published research is actually available for free. We've made that available, and you can access it at clarifiasd.com. We did get regulatory approval to offer this test in December of this last year, and we did start offering the test for sale. We did start in December, but got that kicked off in earnest in January. And as you mentioned before, it's in over 130 clinics in 28 states right now. It is a test that has to be ordered by a clinician, and parents can ask for the test through their clinician. If the clinician doesn't currently offer it, the clinician can either get online, again at clarifiasd.com, and request kits. Those kits are shipped directly to the clinician free of charge, or they can call our customer service line to request the test kits as well.
Okay, and that's an important thing for parents to know, that you can request it, even if your clinic isn't offering it. Say, hey, can we get this test? When a parent requests that, what do we know about, will insurance cover the cost to the parent?
Yeah, so it's very important for us that the test can be accessed by all families who need it. The first step in obtaining reimbursement is obtaining a code for billing purposes. We received our own proprietary, unique proprietary laboratory analysis diligently on that process. Since nearly 50% of all ASD children are covered by Medicaid, we'd like to achieve reimbursement from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services first. And keep in mind that by widespread adoption of a scalable, highly accurate diagnostic test for autism like Clarifi, beyond the clinical value for families and children, this improvement in identifying children earlier can lead to decrease in the lifetime cost of autism. So, and a lot of that cost savings is actually available to the Medicaid system itself. We did a cost analysis, which was validated by a company called Avalier Health, which works with a lot of companies on Capitol Hill. And the estimated cost savings to education is in excess of $13 billion a year. And the savings to Medicaid in both medical and residential care costs is expected to be about $11 billion a year. So, needless to say, broad coverage by insurers and access to the test will have a tremendous impact, first and foremost to children and their families, but then also to taxpayers in our medical system as well.
Which is pretty amazing, and that's just talking about the financial end of it again. But I also want to talk a little bit about the savings of time and the peace of mind of, for all of us who've had a child diagnosed on the spectrum, there is that skepticism that comes from people as your child participates in interventions and starts to improve their skill level. If I had a nickel for every time somebody had told me that my son, he's probably not on the spectrum, my kid who was nonverbal and hitting his head on the kitchen floor, having something that is not subjective as a way of diagnosing could save a lot of time and energy and help people to get on board. So there's the mental aspect of it as well that I just think it cannot be understated. It cannot be overstated how important that is. So where do we get it, you guys? So we go to the clinic and they say that they have it, or they say that they don't have it. When they say that they don't, where do we reach out to?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
So Shannon, so the test can be ordered at clarifiasd.com. So what happens is if a parent is interested in ordering the test or using the test, they can print out we have an informational sheet that they can print from clarifiasd.com and bring it into their physician to educate them. We just released this product in December, and so there are healthcare professionals who are still learning about this technology. And so, but the test itself has to be ordered by a healthcare professional because it has to be prescribed by them. And so if they bring in the informational sheet to their physician and the physician does in fact want to suggest that the child is appropriate for this technology, then they can go online and request a number of kits, either by calling our customer service or ordering it. And if the kits are already in the office, the parent could use the test right then and there, and then take home an instructional sheet to register the test online. Results come back in 3 to 6 weeks to go over with their physician. So it's very similar to many other tests that are used in primary care settings today.
Okay, so here's what I want to say to our viewers that are watching. Most of you are people who already have a diagnosis either for yourself or for your kiddos, but you may have a second child that you're concerned about, or you're the autism community and you have your ear to the ground and people are calling you, I know, on a daily basis and saying, I need to get my kid diagnosed, what do I do? And we all know the hoops that we had to jump through to do this. So this is something something that you now have in your arsenal that you can say to friends and family who call you and say, I don't know what to do. You can say, go to your clinic, request this. Request this so that you don't have to go through like I know people that have went through 3 years trying to get a diagnosis. I think if we can, as much as possible, move to this kind of a scenario, what it helps us to do is to get that early intervention starting faster. And as I don't know if you guys even have a bead yet at this point, but maybe you can speak to how insurance companies, are they accepting this as part of the diagnostic process and going, oh, okay, the doctor, or is it more the doctor is saying, I have this second backup, it's that much easier for me to do this, and so the insurance companies are absolutely taking it?
That's right, Shannon. Yeah, this is very new technology, and so it's being used on many levels. Because it's the first biological signature for autism, it has many uses in the diagnostic process that currently exists, right? There's the pediatric setting primary care on the front end, which the purposes of that is to identify children early. There are specialists of many different backgrounds who are working tirelessly to make sure that they can try to see as many children as possible to get the evaluations accomplished. And so this technology is really bridging that gap to be used in collaboration by both of those systems, because pediatricians can't do diagnosing alone, and neither can specialists, because they have such a long wait list, and there's just not enough of them, unfortunately, both geographically and in number. And so both of those parties are working together to make sure that a result like this will in fact get the child diagnosed faster and into intervention services earlier. And we also see specialists using it as part of their assessment battery to support their clinical impressions and give parents the confidence to immediately start intervention services, because sometimes parents don't feel comfortable with the current assessment process. As you noted earlier, there sometimes are comments about its subjectivity in nature, and so this gives a nice indication for both parties to work together to make sure that those children are getting the services that they really truly need.
Yes, super duper important. So again, before we leave, we want to make sure that viewers know where to go. We've been putting it on the screen this whole time, but for those who are listening on iTunes and on iHeartRadio, can you guys say again very slowly where they go to get the information?
Sure, it's Clarifi with an I, ASD.com.
Okay, so CLARIFIASD.com, you guys. Thank you so much for being with us, and I can't wait to hear more from you guys. It's been so exciting to hear this update of how this is available in this many clinics, and I know if the autism community spreads the word, this will be available more widely to more people.
Shannon, thank you so much, and please do keep up the great work. We all appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Shannon.
Thank you. We're trying. Right? But thank you, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, you guys, clarify with an I, ASD.com. All right, we are going to take a very short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to close this out with a mindfulness moment. Get that positive thinking going on, all right? Stick with us. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.